This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie! What's on your mind?
I am crazy from the heat, my friend.
I feel like I'm having a heat stroke up here.
It is disgusting. Right? Just, look, I love this type of I love warm weathers. You know, I'm a big warm weather guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, warm weather, sun out till, 9 o'clock. But, I had to actually go out and just be out in public today, and oof. I am disgusting right now. I just sweaty and disgusting. But here we are.
Yeah.
On a Friday night. Another episode of Mind the Meanie. Inside Baseball recording on a Friday night. But we're dropping this on a Monday. Doing good, even though I'm just yawning right into the mic. This is fascinating.
Listen, Meanie, it's okay because it's it feels like 105 today here in the Philadelphia area. It's currently, like I said, my wife and I, Mrs. Goober and I, with the kids, we just got back from my brother-in-law's house in Chester Township, New Jersey, and Mrs. Goober was like, "I'll just turn down the air conditioning because nobody's here." And now, right now as we speak, it's 86 degrees in this room right here. I am moist and a little sweaty. So This is going to be a fun show, man. It's already pouring out the pits here. So it's delightful. But how are you, man? Good to see you again. Glad to be here with another episode of the great program that we have here. And what else? What's going on, man?
Doing good. Doing good. Staying busy. I did a couple podcasts this week. I did a guest spot with Dominic on Rumor and Innuendo this week.
Nice.
I did a guest hosting spot on that. My buddy, today I did an interview for TSN in Canada.
Nice.
Which is like national radio there. With my buddy Donnie De Silva. That went really cool. And just doing good, man. Just it's good to be out and talking to folks, like-minded people, talking about wrestling.
Yep.
And just staying busy and just feeling good, man.
Yeah.
Feeling good, feeling happy. My mentals are good. My mentals are happy. I can't complain, man. How about you? How you doing?
Man, life is good, dude. I'm doing well here. Like I said, I'm back here in scenic Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Lots going on, man. Lots going on in the world of wrestling, but I'm good, man. I'm having a good day today. So any day that I have a good day and I'm relaxed and I'm not anxious for Full Tilt Boogie is a good day. But one thing I wanted to talk about Full Tilt Boogie and feeling anxious, and I feel like I have to kind of like look over my shoulder now all the time, is this Uncle Howdy business. And the Wyatt Sicks. Let's start the show off right there today. I want to get your thoughts since it's all over the place. We'll get to the Hawk 2 stuff later on. Don't worry, Twitter friends. But I got to put that on the board, I think. But I wanted to know your thoughts if you had a chance to watch the Uncle Howdy presentation and what you thought about that overall.
Well, dude, it was fantastic. I mean, how long have they been teasing this or, doing the signal breaking in like it's, Max Headroom breaking in across on TV in Chicago or whatever. But doing the QR codes to breaking in with the signal and teasing everything. And, I guess the world decided they figured out that, it was going to happen this Monday.
Yeah.
So the eyes of the world were on Raw this Monday. And, they teased it throughout the show, and I kind of had an inkling they were going to do it when I realized that the Jey Uso match ended with 7 minutes left on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he finished his match doing the celebration. I was like, oh man, there's a good 7 minutes left. This is going to happen, right? So he goes into the crowd and does celebrating, and lights go out in the arena. The door, was there again, and then a woman who I believe is formerly Nikki Cross comes out. Points through and just to create, let's go into the points into where the gorilla position is, and the gorilla position's all erect. There's Eric Redbeard. I'm not sure what their new names are going to be and all that stuff, but everybody's laid out in the back, and Uncle Howdy comes down, and I thought they did a fantastic job earlier in the night setting it up. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people picked up on this, but that is a segment with Drew McIntyre where he comes out and he's frustrated about CM Punk and his situation and losing the chance with the belt, losing the belt and then losing the rematch, and goes and says, "I quit."
Yep.
And walks through the back, and the camera follows him in the gorilla. There's Triple H and Adam Pearce follows him down this hallway. So now, with the Wyatt Sicks debuting, the woman comes out. I'm going to assume it's Sister Abigail.
Right.
Assuming. Points to the locker room. Points to the gorilla position area, and I thought that Drew McIntyre thing set up how normal the gorilla position was earlier in that night before. Mm-hmm. And it kind of gives you a timestamp of like the time in between from when Drew quit to, all the carnage happened in the back with the Wyatt Sicks. And you see Uncle Howdy coming down the same hallway that Drew ran out of the building. So everything was set up earlier in the night just to show you, how normal it was, and then the chaos that ensued once the Wyatts, the Wyatt Sicks, wreaked havoc. But it was awesome to come out to the arena, pick up Bray's lantern, and with the crew, and they say, "We're here," and blow out the lantern, and and then the internet was just ablaze with everything, related to this. And I think for the most part, it was a resounding positive reaction to the debut. I thought the debut was fantastic. They've been teasing it long enough, and it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't know if they'll be like supernatural wrestlers like, Undertaker, was, or they'll just be, it'll be, I don't know what they're going to be, but I'll be fascinated to see how it goes. And this also goes to show, like it was like a payoff for all those weeks and months that, Nikki Cross was just catatonic, just standing there. Remember when? Yeah, she'd be in the ring and just stand there like staring into space and, all that stuff. Now, you kind of see the payoff for that as well. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up too. I remembered this as you were talking about it with the gorilla position, and you had a tweet that kind of popped off a little bit about this afterwards. So you can see it up here on your screen if you're watching right now. You can see it here, but he says that the blue guy says the important part of this Drew segment, which you just kind of talked about, is that it helps establish how normal gorilla position and hallway were before the Wyatt Sicks destroyed it later. Planting the seeds, well done. You got 500,000 impressions on that one, so I tip my hat to you, good sir. Yeah. But I didn't think about that until you wrote that. Like, I didn't realize that was to show how just steady everything was. And friend of the show, Sam Roberts, kind of had a thought about that as well, which, from all accounts, he's safe as of the time of this recording. So I hope, I know my son James is very concerned about Sam Roberts' safety and security on the show, but He was saying too about how the logistics of something like that are how they do that. You know, I mean, they're working on the show behind the scenes, and Gorilla is an operating place. Like that, all of that operates. It's almost like a living organism in a lot of ways. And they had to destroy that place and set that up during the show while they're doing everything. It's just fascinating how all that works.
Now, I have a theory on that to where, and I don't know if this is true. This is just a theory. My idea is they filmed the gorilla position stuff the week before. Like after that Raw, they set it up for they're going to tear it down anyway. So let's set up the gorilla position to look like, the destruction, and they film all that. And they had to have set up like maybe a cut scene from where Sister Abigail's pointing, go through the curtain, have a nice little cut into what the gorilla position looks like now, all destroyed and disheveled. And then, maybe another a cut scene. I got to figure out, I got to watch it again, see if there's a scene where they could have cut to back to live to where they go into the arena. But I mean, if they did that while the show was going on, that's still awesome, Yeah. If they could do it while the show was still going on. But kudos to the WWE and production and all that crew, because it's just amazing, like how much of a well-oiled machine the WWE is.
Yeah, it really speaks to their production values. I mean, I know Kevin Dunn's a controversial figure, but I know that it feels like it's a different era now. The single shots that they do all the way down the hallway, I mean, and all the way through that whole thing, like. I saw a lot of commentary about how the timing of these shows is so particular, even when they're not doing things like this. And in order to hit the cues of that entire process, it was very difficult. So, shout out to everybody that was involved. And I know a friend of the show, Jason Baker, did all the masks from Calisum Studios, who does all the work for Bray Wyatt. He did all the work for Bray Wyatt and has done the Uncle Howdy mask. Absolutely fabulous work. So shout out to him and the whole team out there that worked on that. The other thing, too, the late Chad Gable apparently also has been pulled from he's been pulled from the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Were you surprised to see Chad Gable as a part of that? Were you expecting to see anybody else? Like, as someone who was in that world, were you surprised that they were integrating talent into that whole thing, or did you expect to see more people?
I'm guessing as those people were specifically picked for the feuds to come. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, Chad Gable with a blowhole. I was like, no, maybe the guy with a hammer.
Yeah. Right.
They're a supernatural faction. I don't think they need guns.
No.
But I think, Big Redbeard there with the hammer, he was the one probably that Chad Gable in, but I'm thinking, whatever happens, I think the people who were laid out were specifically picked for, the talent that's going to come after the Wyatt Sicks. That's the only reason why I can think they picked, certain people like that. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm fascinated. I'll be watching. It'll be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown. Yeah. It's about to start as of this recording. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And CM Punk is supposed to be on there and give his medical update. Now, I have to give a shout out to my boy Donnie. I was doing an interview today for TSN in Canada, national radio, and he came up with a great theory. Because we're thinking, Drew McIntyre shows up tonight on SmackDown and confronts CM Punk, and we're like, and Donnie was like, imagine if Drew McIntyre does quit WWE and goes over to TNA.
Oh man,
like the further that crossover and then say somehow Drew McIntyre earns a shot at Moose's WWE title. And then I came up with the point of, he wins the belt or he's about to win the belt, and CM Punk comes out and screws him in TNA as well.
Dude, that would be fucking great, man. I'd love that. Love it.
It would be good for all parties involved. It would be great for WWE. It would be great for TNA to have that. But, dude, like when Punk won the belt back in the day and he said he was leaving WWE with the belt, I would have loved to seen him show up on, TNA with the WWF belt or go to Ring of Honor with the WWF belt.
Could you imagine?
Just quietly sign, but go on some kind of tour with the belt to all the different independents in the area,
Dude, just show up in New Japan with the fucking WWE title would have been nuts, bro. That would have been crazy.
Oh, yeah. Just show up everywhere.
Man.
That would have been great.
I love what they're doing right now, again, with this crossover stuff. One comment in the chat here. Go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Join today. Tier starting at just $10. David from Quakertown is actually joining us today here. Calling it now, Blue Meanie and the Wyatt Sicks. And I want to know, Meanie, what would you be a part of it if they asked? I guess you wouldn't really have a choice, right? Like they're just like,
Yeah, I think they literally abduct you into it. So I don't think I would have the choice. But I'm available.
What I love so much about it, though, and we'll move on to Chick Magnet Punk as well, because I have a theory about potentially what they might do tonight. I just love that, like, it's the unknown, right? It feels, the last time I felt like there was an unknown thread to things, it felt like the NWO. Like, remember when they, like, lawn darted Rey Mysterio into the trailer and all that? There was, like, there's that realism to it. Even though we know it's like, okay, this is, like, kind of spooky and horror movie-ish. The fact that, like, they did something on Pat McAfee again today. So, like, Pat McAfee show on ESPN, something happened yesterday where the power went out and it had that whole Bray Wyatt dip, right? And then they they were talking about something they had a guest on, and they were talking about how there was a drone that was inside and they shot it down. So at the end of the show today, the show abruptly ended and it flashed a bunch of stuff like that's reminiscent of the Uncle Howdy stuff. And it says you lied on the screen over and over again. So I'm curious now. It's like, all right, well, like now they're integrating this shit into other networks and other shows, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think that the match between Punk and Drew is going to be held to SummerSlam. Like, I don't think they're gonna pay that off at Money in the Bank.
No, definitely. You have a stadium show.
Yeah,
you're definitely going to need to. Not that I don't think they're going to have trouble, drawing
right
into, a stadium show, but you want to have a stadium quality match, and this has been building up since Royal Rumble when Punk got hurt.
Yep.
And Drew said he prayed for this to happen, and and then Drew wins the belt. Punk causes him the belt, and and then Punk causes him the rematch or the title match in his hometown of Scotland.
Yeah.
And that's why I was kind of like, man, I wonder if they're going to do something tonight in Chicago since it's CM Punk's hometown. You screwed me over in my home country. I'm going to screw you over in your hometown, kind of thing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
The other part to this, too, that I think is going to be something that occurs tonight is that the Wyatt Sicks attacks CM Punk. And they keep him off TV until SummerSlam, which I think would be kind of dope. You know what I mean? Like, not even CM Punk is safe kind of thing. I don't know. I love the idea of it. I'd love to spitball this all day, but I know that we have other pressing matters to talk about, and that is also about one Joe Hendry, who, as we know, we believe in Joe Hendry. But he showed up at the NXT Battle Royal for the #1 contender spot for the NXT Championship. What did you think about that? What did you think about that appearance of Joe Hendry? It's also the most liked video or social media post on Twitter since WrestleMania 40, when The Rock, something with The Rock at WrestleMania 40. So what did you think about Joe Hendry's appearance in NXT?
I mean, talk about a guy who looks like he was born to be on television.
Seriously.
You know? Like, he looks like he would be like a new age country star, you know?
Yeah.
And charisma over, you know, the music video and everything. I'm telling you everything you already know. But, you know, the guys, Joe Hendry's amazing. And it's cool to see. I mean, like, they've been doing the TNA, NXT crossover stuff, and it's mostly been with the women's division, which is fine. It's been awesome. You know, they had Mickie James in the Royal Rumble 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago.
Jordan Grace in this one, and Jordan Grace having a match on NXT TV. And then there's, you know, I forgot who made the crossover to TNA.
Was it Tatum Paxley? I think it was, yeah.
I'm sorry?
I think it was Tatum Paxley.
Gotcha. And now you got guys, you know, the fellas, you know, from the TNA roster coming over with Joe Hendry, and fantastic. That's awesome. So I need to go back and rewatch it. Like I've been saying lately, sometimes you don't even have to watch the shows in full, because social media just shows you the clips all day. You know, it's like you almost don't have to watch it, but like I would like to go back and watch that thing in full and watch his entrance. And it's amazing, you know, the crowd reaction and, you know, how over he is. And it's just a great job, you know, of two promotions working together, and, you know, everybody benefits.
I think it's, I thought it was interesting, like when I was at the Rumble this year doing media stuff, Jordan Grace's entrance was phenomenal. I mean, the place went fucking ballistic. Like, I certainly didn't expect anybody from TNA. Like, I wasn't in the loop. I wasn't in the know of anything. I'm not that cool, I promise. But it was surprising, because you're like, holy shit, what is she doing here? You know, like, and then I'm like, okay, well, did she sign? But then she shows up with the Knockouts Championship, and she's just like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing, right? And she kind of went the distance a little bit. Like, she was in there for quite some time. Yeah. And I the fact that Joe Hendry is there, I just think it's a great time. And apparently, according to, I can't, don't quote me, I believe it was Fightful, but they're saying that Triple H and WWE are in talks with AAA, which I think is it's the Mexican promotion, right? The one down south, which, I mean, they're just opening an incredible window to all of these things that could potentially happen. And, like, you know, I know that back before the pandemic, Papa H had talked about wanting to do like this global NXT reach to find all this talent. So I'm fucking excited, man. I think it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it. But one of the things is, we pivot, because we've been talking wrestling here again, patreon.com/MindOfTheMeanie. The Pod Squad's here with us this evening. Vanessa is here, longtime Pod Squad member.
Hello, Vanessa.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Machete Von Kill is here. So we like having you here. Machete, we're talking about Joe Hendry. She says, isn't he beautiful? Heart eye emoji. It's the blonde hair that does it. He looks like a fucking star.
Yeah.
He does. He genuinely looks like a fucking star. So
absolutely.
I am excited to see where it goes next. But the other thing that I was actually kind of surprised, I didn't know this, I didn't realize this until today when it was mentioned, is that Cole Hamels, famed Philadelphia Phillies pitcher, actually officially retires tonight, or Friday, as you're listening to this on Monday. So I wanted to get your thoughts about Cole Hamels' retirement and what he meant to Philadelphia baseball.
Yeah, you know, just before coming on to record, I watched the retirement ceremony. It was so well done. You know, they brought out Schwarber and Aaron Nola, who were involved with his last game as a Philly, which happened to be a no-hitter.
Wow.
He had a no-hitter as a Philly, and they gave him the pitching rubber and the original lineup sheet from that game, his last game as a Philadelphia Philly. But talk about a hell of a career. 10 years as a Philly, ace pitcher. brought us to the promised land. He brought us to the a World Series win. As one of the pitchers on that great roster, and it just speaks volumes to the city of Philadelphia when people. They leave Philadelphia, via trade. He was traded away, I believe, to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And, he had his, career elsewhere. But, when they decide to retire, they all come back to Philadelphia to retire as a Philly,
Right.
Jason Worth, he left for Washington, and we had a little bit of a rocky relationship with when he was with Washington.
Yeah.
But once it was time for him to call a career, he came back to Philly. And they all come back. They always come back to Philly. It's almost like their career after the Phillies was kind of like a fever dream and didn't really happen. It was just
yeah.
I don't acknowledge Ric Flair's matches after his WrestleMania retirement.
Nope. He retired that match with Shawn Michaels. That was his final match. That's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I leave the memories alone. But Cole, man, he fucking stud. Hollywood Hamels, as Ryan Howard would call him. He's first time I met him, California kid with good looks, and looks like he just walked right off the beach, and amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. It takes you back in time, because I grew up in a sports house. My grandparents loved the Phillies, loved the Eagles, and they got to my grandparents got to experience one World Series win, and then that was in 1980. Flash forward to 2008, which is kind of weird because it's 08 and 80, flip flopped, and I got to experience. I was alive for the 1981, but I was only 7, so it was like couldn't really celebrate. I was probably in bed, but and when they won in 80, my grandma made the newspaper. She made it in the Philadelphia Inquirer.
That's so cool, man.
And when the Phillies won in 08, I was at my favorite bar in the world, McCusker's, and we made our way to the quarters of Broad and Chunk. And that's, right down the street from McCusker. So after the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, I was like, oh, man, I got to go look for that newspaper my grandma was in. So I go on eBay and I find the paper.
Wow.
And it's when the Phillies won the 1980 World Series. I'm like reading it and it says, Ann Reardon from South Philly, blah, blah, blah. And her quote in the newspaper is, because she was in Northeast Philly with some friends watching the World Series. She's like, right now I really would love to be at the corner of Broad and Chunk. And
that's amazing.
I got chills just reading that because that's where me and Mrs. Meanie went. We went to the corner of Broad and Chunk. And that's thanks to, Cole Hamels. He was the World Series MVP, he had the win in the first game, and he would have won the last game, but, their game got postponed due to a rainstorm, which caused, 48 of the most anxiety-filled hours, because the game was tied and they decided to
I remember
suspend.
that. I was sick as a dog, man. I remember being like, fuck, I can't believe this game is paused. This sucks, man.
And I was like, and they waited to pause it when they tied it.
Yeah.
I mean,
How we're gonna make you guys sweat a little bit here. It's fine. No worries. Yeah, we're all fine here.
2 days later, Phillies went ahead,
Yeah.
won the game, and man, what a celebration. And what a parade, going to the, 08 parade. And, and that's all thanks to, guys, young Lions like Cole Hamels, that team, Cole Hamels, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, Chase Utley.
Shane Victorino, man, it was a murderer's
Shane Victor,
row.
Flying Hawaiian, so many great memories of of that series of that team. They had a good run, man. From 07 to 2011. That was a hell of a run.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping this team we got now, I hope they go on a hell of a run as well. So fingers crossed. Fingers, toes, and eyes are all crossed. And hope the Phillies make a run of it.
Yeah. Matt from Dover in the comments here. Still can't believe Cole Hamels retired. Adam and I were at our local watering hole enjoying the festivities. And he means during the World Series 2008. We were at the clubhouse in Newtown, Pennsylvania, getting a little tipsy there. It was, man, it's hard to believe that, like, that was 16 years ago this year. This October, it'll be 16 years since that team played. And it's like, it is. I'm flooded with a bunch of nostalgia for that time. I'm thinking about that time in my life and how exciting it was to be a Phillies fan and following the whole season. And then it pays off in Philadelphia. And it was just like, fuck, man, this is amazing. This is the best shit of all time. Like, I remember
Absolutely.
I'm standing, if you've ever been in the clubhouse, if anybody is from that area, it's the pool table that's in the middle of the bar. And I'm standing with my back towards the step-up area, and I'm just, like, totally engrossed in the television. And when that last play happened, man, when he struck Brad Lidge, struck him out. I thought the roof was going to blow off the place. It was the loudest I have ever heard anything. The bar was packed to capacity. Like, I'm sure we were over fire code that night. Like, there was no way they could let anybody else in that bar, right? But it was so loud, and it was just electric inside that bar. And man, it was what a fucking time to be alive, man. What a wonderful experience. So shout out to Cole Hamels and the end of a wonderful career. And you are Philly for life, brother, for life.
Oh, absolutely.
And we appreciate you and your contributions to this city. They will never be forgotten. So, just it's crazy, man. But I'm excited about this new team as well. I'm excited about, it feels like they're starting to, like, kick. I don't want to say kick the tires, but it definitely feels like there's an air of, like, every season it just gets a little bit better, right? Like, I know we were in the series in 22. And we kind of stumbled a little bit last year, but it starts to really feel like every year, like, it's like, all right, we're going to get this moving. We're going to kick it up. We're going to get this started. So how are you feeling about watching them now? How are you feeling about their prospects so far this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was cool that, it was interesting, I should say. They made, they snuck into the playoffs in the wild card and just went on a run. 2 years ago, they made it to the World Series. Last year, they tripped up in the NLCS. They got a little bit too dependent on home runs and long balls and stuff like that. And, while the other team, the Arizona Diamondbacks were killing them with small ball, just getting on base, stealing bases, bunts, sack flies, get them in, get them over, get them over, get them in, I should say. And I think, this year's Phillies have learned from their mistakes of last year, and they're playing a little bit more small ball. So, and then they're off to a historic, start of the season, record-wise, and, all the series they've won and stuff like that. And I'm just going to enjoy it and see where it goes because, I'm used to the years. I've seen a lot of crappy years, and, I'm not going to put the cart before the horse, but I'm definitely going to enjoy, seeing where, this journey goes to, They have a great roster. Some guys got hurt, but, some guys are coming back, and we'll see what happens.
I'm excited, man. I love baseball. I know we're getting into the, the better parts of the summer here. It's fucking hotter than hell, as we talked about. And I'm very excited to see the season really kick in and see what happens. But what else is going on, man? What else is going on with you in the world of the meanie?
Just same old stuff, man. Just like I said, enjoying WWE, enjoying baseball. Enjoyed the spot I did this week with Dominic and Rumor and Innuendo. I enjoyed the interview I did today with Donnie. That's going to be at TSN. I've been doing the Morning with Meanie shows over in Ad Free. That's been going pretty good.
Nice.
So it's good to be busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm busy in my personal life, but it's also good to be busy in the wrestling world. I'm glad that, I can do stuff that, allows me to not take bumps.
The least amount of bumps, the better, I'm sure.
I'm not taking as many in-ring bookings and by choice, just because my body doesn't, heal like it used to. Like if it's something, that intrigues me, I'll do it. I had to laugh the other day. I was like, more people ask me, for bookings now that I'm not really trying to take bookings than if I needed the bookings. It's just like, it's weird how wrestling works. I appreciate people wanting to have me on their shows and stuff like that, but
for sure.
Yeah, I'm taking a booking for Ricardo Rodriguez. He's got a show for Three Legacies Wrestling at a baseball stadium this August coming up. I'll promote it when it gets a little bit closer, but and stuff like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
I love traveling. I love doing everything, but again, I'm 51, and I want to keep a good memory of when people see me in the ring.
Right.
I want to be like, saw me in the ring tonight. It wasn't the same,
Yeah.
But I just want to make people, still be able to go out there, entertain, and make people happy. But then again, not get injured to where I'm, laid up. Because there's, a couple of my friends who are still doing it. I saw a couple guys get injured just doing simple stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, so one dude, tore his bicep, and I'm just like, now he's laid up. He's got to get surgery. He's got to go to rehab, and on top of whatever he does in his real life, which I think was real estate. And I'm like, yeah, that's got to suck.
Yeah.
So I want to do stuff, but I want to do it safe. I want to do it fun.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to doing. I love doing these shows. I love things where I can still communicate with the fans, still try to entertain through, talking and telling stories and, sharing experiences and, or give my perspective on the current product, for stuff I'm watching. I mean, some stuff's hard to watch, but,
yes. Some stuff is very difficult to watch.
Some stuff is really hard to watch, and that's not the talent's fault.
No.
But it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. It's a good time to be able to talk wrestling.
Yeah.
And to follow. I have my there's days I have my wrestler hat on. There's days I have my wrestling fan hat on, and everything WWE's doing with NXT and the crossovers with TNA, and now hopefully with AAA. I'll be having my wrestling fan hat on more often than my wrestler hat.
I was just thinking about how difficult it must be. Like, even again, like, it's not that, you've been doing it for so long, but like you said, your body takes a lot longer to heal as you get older. And I remember some of the ring rope that you had, or it was like an abrasion on your arm. I don't know if it was a year ago or so. I just remember, like, God damn, that's gotta hurt. Like,
it's just a simple to get eliminated. I was getting eliminated on a battle royal.
Yeah,
just the rope burn. I was like, oh my God,
Jesus Christ, man,
pale Irish.
God, I don't envy that. One thing I wanted to actually mention, because I remember a post you put up, and I would talk about it since we were on the baseball topic. Willie Mays passed away this week. And I wanted to know if you had any thoughts about Willie Mays' passing and what he meant to you, overall.
Unfortunately, Willie Mays Hayes passed away. I mean, Willie Mays passed away, but Willie Mays Hayes is still with us.
Right.
If you're a fan of the movie Major League. No, but Willie Mays, talk about an icon. Playing back, in an era where, there are people who are rooting against you as a human being, you know, and battling things that African Americans had to battle in that day and age, you know, him and Jackie Robinson and stuff like that, and to persevere and, you know, become iconic the way they did. You know, the word icon and iconic gets used a lot.
Yeah.
You know, misused a lot. GOAT, greatest of all time, gets misused a lot. But Willie Mays was fantastic. And, of course, I'm not old enough to remember any of the games. You know, I've had to watch it through the magic of, you know, video and through the stories of others. And, you know, if you ever see the awesome docuseries called Baseball, you know, you get to learn about, you know, Willie. But 93, man, God bless. You know, just to make it, you know, still make it that long. And they just had a game recently. I'm kicking myself for not seeing it. They played it at one of the old Negro League stadiums.
Yeah.
And I think Willie put out a statement, you know, wishing them the well for that game, and then passed away the next day. Mm-hmm. I think.
If I remember correctly, I think the game was supposed to be honoring him, because I know that they recently integrated the Negro League statistics into MLB, which I think is fucking amazing and long overdue. You know, some of the most amazing players of the game played in the Negro Leagues and have never really been recognized for their contribution to the sport. So I love that that's happening. But I believe, if I recall correctly, and don't fact check me, but I believe, if I recall correctly, there was supposed to be a tribute to Willie Mays as a part of that whole thing, and then, or, you know, he was going to be honored there, and then the game ended up becoming a tribute to him. So it's crazy, man. It's a shame. It's a shame to feel like we're losing so much history so quickly. You know, Donald Sutherland is another one who passed away, I think, earlier this week, which, you know, if you've never seen a Donald Sutherland film, you should go out of your way to check it out, because he was just one of the best of his time and probably ever on the screen.
Absolutely.
So it's a shame. I you know, Willie Mays, again, I was young, you know, when I'd heard about him, but I never actually got to watch him play until I got older with the advent of the old YouTube. Even though my Uncle Rick recorded everything in the history of the world on VHS, he never, you know, they didn't have any back then. So, you know, it's a shame. It's a shame to lose somebody that great in the sport, and, you know, it sucks. But he had a great life. Also, too, you mentioned about some of the things that he went through and some of those players. If you haven't seen it, you should go out of your way to watch the commentary that Reggie Jackson gave on ESPN today, just to, you know, talk about some of the legacy of the sport and things that happened to him.
Absolutely.
You should definitely, you know, because that stuff, that's recent history. You know, it's our not so distant past, and it's shameful that you know, players like him and other, you know, black players had to suffer through that in the 70s and 60s. But but also too, I appreciated your Major League reference there, the Willie Mays Hayes, so famously. Was he played by Wesley Snipes in the first movie? Was that his character in the first movie?
If you watch, Wesley Snipes played Willie Mays Hayes in the first Major League. Mm-hmm. And then when it came around time for the second Major League, he said, you know, I really just want to be an action movie star. So when they did the second Major League, they recast Willie Mays with another actor. And, you know, they're like, what did you do in your off season? And they have Willie Mays doing a bunch of action movies. You know, and it was basically a fuck you to Wesley Snipes, you know. Actually, Jesse the Body Ventura makes an appearance in Major League 2 because he was in White Lightning, Black Thunder, or something like that.
Yeah.
He was in a buddy action movie with Jesse Ventura.
It's Jesse Ventura and Willie Mays Hayes.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
That's right. Let me tell you, Wesley Snipes, about things you can do in Panama.
The Gulf of Tonkin.
Potable water.
I have had the trained dogs, 672 dogs, Jesse.
Goddamn, such good shit. But what else is good shit, my friend,
Yes.
is a question that I ask you every week. Would you like to know that question?
Oh, what would that be?
Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to.
It's time to ask me anything.
Ask me something.
This is a drizzling shit.
Angel Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you!
Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on the program. Our first question here comes from RJ. What up, RJ? What's going on, man? Don't forget to check out Reffing It Up each and every week on wherever you find your podcast. Great show. Shout out to the great Jimmy Corderas. He came on Foundation Radio recently. If you were to book a rock concert called Meanie Fest, who's your opener, your two mids, and your headliners?
Oh, man.
Actually, before we do that, because it's hot as fuck, my fan is still at 85 degrees here. Let's get ourselves a little spritzy here, shall we?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got today?
Surprise to nobody. I'm still rocking the Bellevue pumpkin pie thing I bought 1 million cases of after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
They were 78 cents a case.
I got the cheap shit from Aldi, the knockoff sparkling ice. I got the sparkling frost, the pink grapefruit, which is my favorite flavor. I've been saving it just for this episode. So we're going to crack these Johns open in 3, 2, 1.
Sam and it.
There she is.
There we go. One-hander.
The grapefruit smells so good. And pinky's up. It's fucking hotter than hell in here, man.
Oh, brutal.
Awful.
I was thinking of that movie. Was it? I forget what it was. Matthew Broderick goes into the into the military, and he's like from Queens, New York. Might be Brighton Beach Memoirs. I'm not sure. But he's out in the field doing basic training, and he's just like, "Oh man, this is really hot. It's so hot. It's awful. It's Africa hot." And that was like the line in the movie trailer. So for the rest of my life after seeing that movie, I was like, "Oh, bro, it's like Africa hot." But
Oh, man.
yeah, I totally forgot where I was going with that.
No, that's okay. Let's. I'm going to pull the question up here from RJ Krasinski.
Yeah, let's get a little refresher there.
If you were to book a rock, if you were to book a rock concert called Meanie Fest, who is your opener, your two mid, and your headliner bands?
Well, opener, I would do the Swamp Candles.
Yeah.
My boys, they could kick off the festival with the BWO theme. They gave me so much with that theme that I would gladly pay them back with a sweet gig opening spot there, on the Meanie Fest. Two mids, it would have to be, I'll say the Struts.
Oh, good choice.
The Struts are really good. They're coming around. I might go see them.
Oh,
in
when
Philly.
are they coming to town?
August something.
Oh, man.
I'm not sure. Another band would be Now is this from any generation?
I don't think there's any restrictions on anything here. So it can be, you can fantasy book the shit out of it.
I would do the band The Wild Hearts from England.
Wild Farts. Good band. Good choice.
The Wild Hearts are amazing. And the headliner would be Van Halen, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
All eras. And I'll do it in the style they were planning to do a farewell tour, and it was going to be like the kitchen sink tour. They were going to have Sammy, Dave, and Gary.
oh my God, all three? I would have gone to that.
Yeah, they were planning a
man.
tour, and then Eddie got sick.
Oh man, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. I have a buddy who works at down at the Citizens Bank Park, and said that they had a tentative date. Wow. And Eddie got sick and it got canceled. So
Wow.
But that would be my headliner. I would do that.
The three-headed monster of Van Halen. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Why not?
That's My God. I know you didn't ask me, RJ, but I'm going to give you Goober Fest. If that's all right with you, Meanie, I'd love to kind of game this out.
Show, bro.
Opener, I would probably go with Kill Switch and Gage. I'm a big fan of Kill Switch and Gage. I think they're great. Both singers, too. I would love to see both of them perform on stage. I guess if we're sticking with rock music, I think I would stick in that genre because I could do rap forever, but I'll have to give you my rock bands. I'd probably give the gig to CKY as a mid-carder just because they're the homies, and it's always cool to see them play on stage. Who else? We're thinking any era here. Let me think about this for a second. Mid.
Yeah.
Like a right under the headliner. Because I already know who my headliner is going to be. Green Day, like early punk Green Day, like Dookie era Green Day. I fucking love Dookie. Like it's one of my favorite records of all time.
Blue-haired Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, give me that fucking 93, 94 sounding Green Day, man. The Angus soundtrack. Give me that fucking Green Day all day long. It's not as if I don't like their new shit. Like, I do like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But there's something magical about that era. That and Insomnia, back-to-back records like that. And then my headliner, it would be the Foo Fighters. I just absolutely adore that band, and I love seeing them, so I feel like that would be the right choice. Eradicated Zombie says about CKY, with or without D. Mills, Darren Miller, the previous lead singer. Anything without Darren Miller is great for me. Anything without Darren is great. But I think
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think if we're going to do a proper CKY show, it's got to be Darren, Chad I. Ginsberg, Jess Margera, and then friend of the show, Matt Dice, has got to play bass. Nice. So that's where I'm at. But anything without Darren is fucking great.
But if we go to the chat, shout out to Vanessa Bello.
Oh yeah, yes.
Biloxi Blues was the movie. She is correct.
That is right.
But Biloxi Blues and Brighton Beach Memoirs were written by the same person. So that's where I got the confusion.
Okay.
I think it was Neil Simon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see here. We got one more question today here from our good friend Carlo Carlson. The homie out here. We love Carlo here at this show. Hey, Blue and Goob. Love the podcast, as y'all know. Thank you, sir. We love you as well. We appreciate your tweets and your comments every single week. So I feel like I should ask a question. What is your favorite Al Snow gimmick? And what did you learn from your wrestler dad? And as for Goob, have you hatched a plan to free Al Snow from the green room? It's a deep cut right there. I appreciate you, sir.
Deep cut.
Deep cut.
Deep cut. Can you bring that back up again?
Of course, yeah. I will bring this up here.
So, what is your favorite Al Snow gimmick? And what did you learn from Wrestling Dad? I mean, I learned everything from Wrestling Dad. You know, I was saying today in an interview, I learned more about wrestling and car rides with Al Snow than I did, wrestling. You can learn moves and holds and all that stuff, but it's the intricacies of the wrestling business where it's the devil's in the the devil is in the details, so to speak. So, as far as favorite Al Snow gimmick, his European title was pretty fun, where he represented every country in Europe.
So good.
Yeah, comes out as Dracula from Transylvania. And for Greece, he comes out as somebody from the movie Grease.
I forgot about how good that was, man. That was a fucking hell of a run.
That was a fun run.
Yeah.
That was a fun run. Al with the head is, ultimate, prime Al Snow. That's, where he, launched into another, stratosphere with that,
Yeah, for sure.
I liked his European title run.
Have I hatched a plan to let him out of the green room? Short answer and long answer, no. We gave him a short reprieve, obviously, at Meanie Mania, and I got a chance to say hello to him. But then we hit him with some chloroform. We took some photos, but obviously, as you know, he is down there. So we hit him with some chloroform. We refilled his tequila bottle and his Haribo sugar-free gummy bears because, as you know, we want to keep him regular. Which, so we cleaned his bucket. We gave him a nice new shiny bucket, but no plans to let him out as of yet. So shout out to the homie Al Snow. We appreciate you. One final comment on the musical thing, just because Eradicated Zombie brought it up. With special guest Tenacious D. Yeah, that would probably be the encore band. I would love to see Tenacious D. And
I could possibly swap out Wild Hearts with Mammoth WVH because Wolfie's, he's going to be there anyway with his dad. So
yeah, you might as well bring him up. Might as well just bring the whole squad, man. Bring everybody. Yeah. So and speaking of bringing the whole squad, we want to thank you to the squad that's listening and the Pod Squad for giving us your questions each and every week, so we can ask them on the show and entertain you. And we appreciate you listening every week. So Meanie, I want to know, and also thank you, Blue Guy, for doing this program every week as well. We appreciate you, sir.
You make it go.
Hey. So, man, we do this is a co-captain's chair here, sir. We do this together, so I appreciate you. But where can everyone keep up to date with all things Blue when they're not listening to the program?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Blue Meanie BWO on all forms of social media. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. To support Mind of the Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand, go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon codes Meanie or use coupon code MIND and save 10% over there at collarandelbowbrand.com. If you're in the Philly area and need t-shirts, go to JPT's for your t-shirt printing needs. JPT's is a family-owned business that has been making quality printed t-shirts since 1986. For more information, go to jpts.com. That's the letter J, the letter P, TEES.com. jpts.com. MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton, doing an amazing job over there at MadCatBeardCare.com. He rounds up all the feral cats in this neighborhood, takes them to the vet, and they go back out of the wild feeling a lot better than when he found them. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go to MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles in 2024. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others. Go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game on Twitter. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Series Wrestlers variants, Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are available now. All Series 1s can be ordered now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Type Blue Meanie in the search bar, select Vintage Blue Meanie or BWO Blue Meanie. Either way, there is no wrong choice. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation over there at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for all birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Go over to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO and let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter. Book through the site. Don't book through the app. The app takes absolutely way too much money too much more of your hard-earned money that you're spending for the talent. But yeah, go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. Let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter. But most importantly, Mr. Bernard, where can we find you?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can go to follow me on all forms of social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads. You can find me at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. You can also listen to my other show, Foundation Radio, by going to foundationradio.net, or the preferred method, going to our YouTube page at youtube.com/@foundationradiopod. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'll be seeing the homie Kane out there right before my trip to SummerSlam this upcoming August. So go out there, schedule your appointment today with Kane, Jordan, and the rest of the team at 10th Ward Barbershop.com. Don't forget to check out my articles. I am now currently a featured writer at bodyslam.net. I've had 2 articles up now, two Meanie. I have a great piece up there right before, unfortunately, Chad Gable's demise, about the tragedy of Chad Gable, comparing him to Ajax from Greek mythology. And I also I wrote a piece that was published this week that's been in the chamber since 2021. I've been working on it as long as that. It's about The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the NWO as the true ending of the Attitude Era. So go to bodyslam.net today. Check out my pieces there. My next piece is going to be on Baron Corbin. So I got a lot of stuff cooking in the chamber right now, so hopefully you check it out. And I appreciate all the feedback that I've received from that. You all are very kind, so thank you very much. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa de Meanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to go to Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Tiers start at just $10 a month. You get to watch us early and ad-free there. And right above Meanie's head, if you see, you go to youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie and subscribe today. And join us each and every week. We just have clips, we have fun stuff, we have goodies that you can find there. And if you look below us here, you can find us on all forms of social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads at Mind of the Meanie. Find us here, and we will be happy to follow that you'll be following us. And you keep up to date with all the things we have going on. And we appreciate you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on anywhere you find your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us comments on YouTube. It helps the algorithm find us, and it helps us get in front of more people. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend, an enemy if you like, or whoever it is that you see at Wawa. If you want to talk to them and you're like, here's a great show, cuz. And you can find out there. But we appreciate you, and we appreciate you tuning in. Meanie, as always, thank you, sir, for being here with the show, on the show each week. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind
Blue World Order
of the Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, at Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.